What's up guys, BP Hero checking in here. What we're working with today is the Anarchy amped line. I got the U-Trip, which is a 26 ounce, and the ASA, which is a 27 ounce. Both of these are full ounce in load, 12-inch barrel, 2-piece composite barrel, composite handle. Looking forward to swinging them. Let's go. Already locked in, second swing. Alright, so me and my man Junk getting things going here with the ASA model first. Sure. And real quick, big thanks goes out to Daniel Delgado for sending these bats out to us so we could check these out. Did want to make mention of that. Now, you guys setting up bats at a time like this when they haven't had a whole lot coming in has been a big help, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. Back on the good old open field here, not a whole lot available for BP fields right now besides baseball fields. So we're back on the open field with the tree line that's just about 300 down the left field line and works its way out. It's about 330-ish in the gap, 330, 340, something like that I want to say. And we're hitting our usual mix of 52s for these ASA bats. Like my last 10 swings of my round with the ASA model, I did hit some harder balls with it just because A, I know Anarchies can handle it, and B, who doesn't want to have fun hitting a hard ball with an ASA bat? Especially since these things are designed to do it and do it well. This bat is approved for ASA only, and it was brand new when we got started here. The 27 ounce did feel true to weight with the full ounce in load. Definitely hit the ball well. Hit like a full ounce, but it was still controllable for being a full ounce. It wasn't unmanageable or anything like that. So that's always a good thing. And that 12-inch barrel felt and sounded good with the low compression balls. And it crushed the hard ones too and had an even better sound then. The composite handle on this was rigid and had the typical 2-piece feel that just about every bat does these days. No whip or flex or anything to mention unless you just completely miss on it. With some of these deets out of the way, let's head over to the labs, then back to the field. So this 27 ounce ASA model came in at 27 on the money with a stock grip and a knob cuff. And as you can see here on the compression tester, this thing has got a mile to go before you even think about having to worry about any kind of compression failure issues. So if you hit hard balls exclusively in BP, I'm not sure I'd still suggest that, but you could definitely get away with a 50-50 mix with this thing, or even a decent U-Trip mix. What I would suggest for a U-Trip bat would just about be a half mix of 52 pluses and BP rockets. And after Junk and I put about 100 swings on it, with, like I said, that mix of 52s and a handful of 44s, needle hardly moved at all. Very impressed with the performance of this bat, especially considering how far it is away from being on the pass-fail line. I can only imagine what this thing would be like once it got down to that 900 PSI level. With this stuff knocked out, though, back to the field, let you know what I thought of this thing. So, if you know me at all, you know I'm a short barrel, full ounce of in-load fan, and this fell right in line with everything that I like in a bat. Good performer. It's going to last you a long time if you hit nothing but 52s in BP. And if you do want to get adventurous and hit some harder stuff in BP, you can get away with it. You can do it in games. These bats are handled to take it all. Probably one of my favorite things about the Anarchy ASA line is the fact that it'll hit whatever you throw at it. So we're going to go ahead and slap this one with the stamp of approval. I have been a fan of these ASA Anarchy bats, and this one probably has honestly been one of my favorites. Even in the 50 or 60 swings that I did put on it, it just felt right in my hands. You know, it's one of those, like, it just feels super smooth. Even though it's a 12-inch barrel, you can't mess with it. A whole barrel just felt like sweet spot, and the ball is absolutely jumping off of this thing. If you're on the fence about a bat like this, or you're looking for something that can hit a hard ball and a low compression ball, look no further. We're going to finish up with the ASA bat here, and then we're going to move into the U-Trip. I'll put a timestamp down below if some of you guys don't want to hang out for that, and I'll catch up with you over there. Got you. $300-ish. Funny, so that's easy play on AA 100. I'm telling you, it's gonna jump. It's our. Yeah. All right, like 10. Such a terrible. Ooh, there's that metal. So getting started with the U-Trip model here. Hitting mostly a mix of 44 400 and Classic M's. There's a handful of 52s in here, but not very many. This bat is approved for USSSA only. It's the only stamp that's on it. There's no ISA, there's no NSA or anything like that. Specifically U-Trip only. And this one had no swings on it as well when we got started. The 26 did feel true to weight. The full ounce of end load. Again, I did a good job of driving the ball while still being able to be controlled pretty easily. Now with the 12-inch barrel, I couldn't quite place what it was, but the barrel just felt weird. Like you felt the ball jump off of it when you hit the sweet spot, but the sound was almost the same every time, and you could never feel a difference between that one ball that you know you hit on the screws, you know for a fact you got, so you just sit back and watch. I had some of those come off of this barrel, but it took seeing them come off to know that I got them. The sweet spot wasn't huge, but it was still a decent size for a short barrel bat. And the handle on this was a composite, just the same as the ASA, and just like most two-piece bats these days, rigid feel, no real weird feedback unless you just completely miss on it. With the blah-bitty-blah out of the way, over to the labs. So on the scale here, this 26 came in at 26.5, and it did have a knob cuff with the original grip on it. And moving to the compression tester here, this one came in at the 285-ish mark, which I did feel was a little bit high. It still hit well for testing this high, but it was a little bit higher than some of the other U-Trip stuff we're seeing this year. And after about 80 or so swings that Junk and I put on this thing, it's coming in somewhere between 270 and 275. And I will say that just like the ASA model, I was impressed that these things seem to perform well and give the impression that they're going to hold compression for at least a little while, so you can, BP them and enjoy them, and, be able to have a bat that you can hit in BP, and if you play somewhere that tests, you know that you should be good to go, at least for a little while before you have to start worried about making it gamer only. With the lab finished up, let's head back to the field for more blah-bitty-blah. The sound and feedback from this barrel did leave a bit to be desired, but performance-wise, this bat hit just as good as any of the other big brands out there. The 1/9 end load did its job while still being smooth through the zone. The sweet spot was still a good size for being a short barrel, but not the biggest. But the other big plus from this was the fact that it can take a beating in BP, which is something most U-Trip bats, which is something that most U-Trip bats can't do these days. Hell, these even pass compression on the new standard after a few rounds of BP. So job well done for them to making something that's going to be able to be used for the guys who do get bats tested. With all of that considered, I did debate hardcore on whether or not to give this one the stamp of approval, but I had to decide not to. Performance-wise, it's just as good as any bat out there, don't get me wrong. But just the weird feel and feedback, and sound left some to be desired. And if you can have your cake and eat it too, with so many other U-Trip bats out there, why not just go for something else? I would recommend this bat though to someone that likes a short barrel bat and likes to take BP and not worry about compression testing. So definitely take the good with the bad with this bat here and see if this is something that would be interesting to you. That's going to wrap up this review though, guys. I'm going to hush up, let you check out the rest of the swings here. Thanks again to Daniel for sending these out to us so we could check them out for you guys. We're going to have our first bit of game footage coming early next week. Got a tournament tomorrow. I'm taking the cameras with me. Get some game footage in, because I know a lot of people aren't playing softball right now. So that should be something cool everybody can enjoy. So if you're not already, be sure and hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you get a notification when I get those videos out, and I'll catch you in those videos, guys. Okay. It's humping. We gotta remember that, like, Swinging at 26, I've got to back off to about 75, 80%. It just like, my timing is just so used to a 27, I end up just pulling everything off.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just go for a nice and easy swing instead
Yeah.
of your
Just work on putting a barrel through it.
Yep, yep. Which is about what those 18 Lloyds are running in the Louisville pages.
Like, it was right there though. Like, if it was just a little bit better, ooh. But they got it figured out in 19, obviously. Ah, I tried cutting it. Floated out there.
I thought the same on a couple of mine. Like, oh, that wasn't good. And you just keep going.
It's funny because like I'm trying to like get something low. I just keep hitting. Yeah. It's just where the pitch is crossing me at, which I mean I ain't mad about.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep. Lasered up the fence.
Yeah. Just trying to keep something low. Like, it drives me nuts to watch a video where people just hit like bomb.
Bomb, bomb,
after
bomb.
bomb. Yeah. So I'm trying to like keep some stuff low. I just can't keep them low. Yes, it was.
Yeah, the latest group chat message was Quinn's pushing it to Sunday. Try to get a feel for some time.
He is going to push it to Sunday?
Yeah, that's what he said.
I didn't see it.
I just checked it to make sure Brad didn't call me. I texted him this morning, like, mind if I take a long line so you can work?
See, like I'm trying to hit that low and it's just a scud, you know?
That one was on a, that one wasn't a sky.
And part of it is me trying to keep the ball down too.
More on top of that one.
You know what? I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, you might have to end on that one.